Okay, now this centerpiece, if you pay wholesale prices, this would probably cost you anywhere from $40 to $50 to make. It just depends on the kind of roses that you buy. Like I said, this is a garden rose, it's more expensive variety. And the container is about $14, $15. Now, if you were to pay retail price, this would probably cost you a good $100. Now, if either one of these don't fit into your budget, I have an alternative for you, a much less expensive alternative, but it's just as pretty. So this is what we're gonna do. Pull all this out. We're gonna utilize the same container. I'm gonna take a hydrangea and I'm gonna chop it up and just float it in the water. Okay, so we're just floating these hydrangeas. There's lots of flowers that'll float really nice. You could also do the same thing with rose petals. You could use gardenias, dahlias. I like the look of the hydrangeas, and this would also be pretty in a clear glass container because you would see all the blooms underneath the water, which would give it a really neat effect. But I love this. I think it's really pretty. Even a nice colored hydrangea would be gorgeous in here. So I also like to make my containers look as interesting from the outside as they do from the inside. So I'm gonna take a piece of this Deflexus fern. It's a really nice light fern, really bendable. And I'm just gonna kind of wind it around the base of the container. This makes it look really natural, almost like it's just growing right around the container. I'm gonna do that. You can do the same thing with ivy. Okay, we can add just a little pop of color just by adding a few petals at the top too. And then the finishing touch is to put on a floating candle. And I'm just gonna light it for you so you can see the full effect of this. Now, this is a much less expensive option. I would say off the top of my head, this would probably cost you about $20 to make. Really pretty, really romantic, simple, and inexpensive. And there you have it. Hi there, welcome back to the Upper Bloom. We are continuing with our wedding series here. So today we're going to focus on two different centerpieces. So let's get right to it. I am using this just simple stone urn-shaped container for my centerpiece. It's really traditional. I already have water in here, so for starters, what we want to do is create what we call a frog, which holds all of our flowers together. And to do that, I just get a piece of curly willow and I wind it around my hand like so. And what I'm going to do is just stick it down into the container. This is what's going to kind of hold all my stems together as I place them in. Okay, and this one I chose, this is a good standard size that would go on a 60-inch round table. You can always go bigger if you need to, but I'm just using this as our example today. So once we have our frog in here, we're going to start adding our hydrangeas, which makes a great base for our design. So what you want to do is you want to visualize your centerpiece in 3 sections, like a pie. And I'm really good at eyeballing, so I always just naturally make my cut really fast. What you'll want to do is just kind of hold your hydrangea to the lip of the container. You don't want it sticking way out here. This is going to be a low kind of drapey piece. So you just hold it to the lip of the container. So it's only hanging over a little bit. Make a cut at an angle with your snippers. Otherwise, you're going to want to use a really sharp knife. If you don't have clippers, just use a really sharp knife. All right. When you insert your flowers, you want them to go in at an angle and have the flower look like it's coming toward you. That way it has a nice 3D effect when you see it from all the way around. So it'll be nice and round and full. So we're gonna start with just 3 hydrangeas. That's gonna create our arrangement into thirds. A lot of people start their designs by adding lots and lots of greenery and then filling in with flowers. I like to see the flowers more than the greenery. You can always add greenery at the end. Next, we're going to add groupings of roses. I like to cluster roses together because it looks like they're growing together naturally. That's why the way you see them in nature. So you don't really want to do one flower here and one flower there. You want to group them together, and they always make more of an impact that way. You don't really want to have any greenery under the water because that creates more bacteria. So just strip off the lower greenery and then make your cut. And again, you're going to insert your flowers at an angle. I'm going to show you how it's supposed to look. So you want the flower to look like it's coming right toward you. As you're designing, you're going to want to turn your container as you go so that you can see that you're placing the flowers in the right way and making a nice round full design. Now I'm going to throw in a little bit of watermelon color here because that's what's super hot right now. This is a really nice garden rose. This gives it a really nice pop. We're just going to do the same thing on each side. This is a super easy design. And again, you're just going to put your flowers in at an angle. I'm going to throw in some spray roses too. These are called piano. They're a really deep watermelon color, really gorgeous and fragrant. Okay. Now we're going to do this side here. When we're all done with this part, we're just gonna fill in through the middle. When you're sitting down at a table, you don't really see the top of the arrangement, you see more from the side. So it's really important to have a lot of impact on each side. You don't have to do the same exact design on every side. As long as you have your flowers groups together, that's what really gives it a lot of pop. Now for accent, I've chosen these hypericum berries, which are that watermelon kind of salmon-y color. And again, you want to strip off the greenery so there isn't any greenery underwater. And you also want to sort of create a collar around the lip of the container too. So you can kind of stagger these and put some more in the middle and then some around the edge. You can see this is taking a really nice full shape. Okay, so far so good. We only have a few more steps here. I'm just gonna take some of this pretty filler flower. Okay, I call this chunking it in because I take several stems and just chunk them all in together. And that way it creates more of an impact and it's a nice way just to fill up the center. So cut these. Put a few in over here. And I encourage you just to exercise your own creative flair. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. The main thing is to make sure that you group your flowers together and that when you turn the container and when you're looking at it from above, that it's just nice and round and full. Okay, I'm gonna finish this off. Sagey greens are really hot right now. Everywhere I look, I always see eucalyptus, Dusty Miller, and all those beautiful sagey greens, and they look really pretty with the pink. So I'm using Dusty Miller today, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna chunk in a few pieces. This is really soft, velvety texture, and it just finishes it off really nice. It's also really hardy. You'll probably have this growing in your yard. There we have our wedding centerpiece. I'm going to turn it all the way around so you can see from every angle. Now these stone containers are porous, which means they'll cause the water to evaporate quicker than a glass container, so you want to make sure that you always keep it topped off with water. Hydrangeas drink from the outside. So it's a good idea just to keep them misted, especially if the weather is warm and your arrangements are going to be outdoors. Isn't that gorgeous? Hi there, welcome back to Upper Bloom. I'm Jennifer Tyson. We're going to continue on here. I'm going to demonstrate how to make a garland. I love garlands so much because I think that they're so versatile and they can be used in so many places throughout a wedding. And also, you can utilize them more than once. So this will definitely save you money. They look a little bit complicated and intimidating, but this is probably one of the easiest things that I'll be able to teach you. This makes a nice base because it has a strong woody stem, and again, it's that really trendy, beautiful sagey green color. So we're gonna start with our silver dollar eucalyptus at the bottom, and then I'm just gonna kind of layer things, and what you wanna do is just wrap it with a wired twine as you go. So next I'm gonna use Deflexus fern because this is really lacy and drapey. And we're just gonna put that right on top. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut a piece of twine and just begin to wrap. Super simple to make. The key is to not do what I just did. You wanna wrap a few times and just secure it together in the beginning. And then just do single or double wraps as you go. So I'm going to use 3 different types of greenery for this garland. I'm going to use the variegated ivy as well. So as you go, you just kind of stagger it down. Make a couple of really tight wraps. You don't want to pull too tight because you don't want to break the stem, but just so it's secure. And then if you want to add any filler, pick nice filler flower here. We're sticking with a little bit of a pink theme. And I'm going to throw in some Dusty Miller. And this is good to add just every once in a while. It just makes a couple nice clusters and adds texture. Now if you'd like to add a little bit of color to your garland, you can just throw in some of your berries, or you can add flowers, or both. If you're trying to keep costs down, then I would just do just the pretty greenery because I think it's enough. So this is the ingredients for our garland, and all we're gonna do is just create a pattern and just keep on going in this direction. And so I'm I'm gonna add a little more of the the silver dollar eucalyptus. The reason that I'm choosing these designs is because these are the ones that are going to be photographed the most. Whatever you have up at the altar, what you're holding, and your centerpieces are the ones that are most photographed. They're the basics of any wedding. So to keep it simple, we're just doing the basics today. But stick with me because in the future we're going to be doing a lot more designs and a lot more challenging things. So as you can see, this is really easy. All you do is just stagger your greenery and wrap and overlap as you go. And then at the end, what I like to do to give it a finished look is to turn my greenery around facing the opposite direction. So this is going this way, and then it's going to be finished going the opposite way. So I'm going to take one more piece of the eucalyptus. I need a bigger piece. And we're going to go the opposite direction. You're going to put it underneath because that's your base. You can clip off the excess if you need to. Add your piece of deflexus or whatever other greenery you want to use. And again, this is something that you can use your own creative design if you like other kinds of greenery better. You don't necessarily have to use this, but this makes it really full and beautiful. This way, they look the same on both sides. Now, wherever you want to hang your garland, you want to create a drape. So say you need 20 feet of garland to hang on your altar or on the aisle or on a table. You always want to make about 5 to 10 feet extra. That way you have room to drape it like this. Okay, now you can always add flowers to this if you want to, but I'm just going to keep it simple with the greenery. And I want to let you know that if you were to pay retail for this, you would probably be paying anywhere from $3 to $5 a foot, not including flowers. So you'll really save a lot of money by doing it yourself, and you can see that it's very simple to make and very, very beautiful. All right, stick with me because next week we're going to be doing our arch piece in continuing our wedding series. See you next time.